everyone, I'm Drew, I'm that frog guy, and I know it's been a long time since I did the last video, so there's a lot to cover, and I'm kind of going to do a quick reptile room video. We'll see how it goes, but first things first, after the last video I did, which was back, I think, in November or September, or not November, October, I got really sick, and I was at the time dealing with a really bad algae outbreak in the saltwater tank, and I ended up trying to take an easy way out and got a tang, just a temporary. I think I showed you guys that video, but it ended up giving all my fish ick and then killing off a good portion of them. And that's only one of the major things that's happened since the last video. So everything's kind of compounded in the end of 2019 into 2020. So we'll kind of go through it all. I felt like I should do a kind of a video like this for you guys. So first things first, I've redone some things in the reptile room. You notice the rack's gone, there's only one tank over here, and then this tank here. So what happened is, after I lost 3 fish out of the saltwater tank, I ended up saving my favorite fish in quarantine, which I should have done initially, which I'm regretting now. We ended up losing the toad because I ran out of food and tried a different recipe, and I don't know if it really agreed with him. So Little Smiley did not make it. He just passed away a couple weeks ago. And we also lost Freddy, the really old frog. I'm thinking he just kind of got too old. He's already over 15, 16. But I don't know enough about that species, and I feel really bad about losing him. We lost Lepidus, the other beta. He got dropsy. Yeah, a lot of things happened. The 29-gallon, point to it, this tank here, we lost a couple. We had a bunch of jumpers, which kind of sucked. I got some hair on the screen. Hold on. And I haven't filmed YouTube in such a long time. We ended up tearing down some tanks. We lost ET as well, the mud minnow. He ended up passing away, I believe due to old age. Everything's kind of died of something else, but they all kind of died right around the same time of each other. So besides the saltwater stuff. We ended up losing our shrimp, our big cleaner shrimp in that tank. I think he passed away of old age or something got him. He was just dead one morning, and I don't know. Everybody else is doing good, but we'll go around the tanks here in a second. What else has happened? I ended up doing insulation on the ceiling. I don't remember if that was part of the last video or not, but yeah. So sorry guys, I haven't had any videos lately. It's the first one of 2020, and I've been really trying to think of what to say, and I figured I'd just jump right into it and show you guys around and show you what's changed and what's different, and yeah. So hold on a second, we'll go around. So starting on this wall, there used to be a rack. This rack was actually over here, and we had the bugs on this rack. Due to losing a tank up there, a tank here, we moved to that tank. We split up the tanks that were there, and then we lost that tank that was down here is this tank here. So I've combined 2 of them in, and I'm replanting the grass. I feel really bad about losing Lepidus, but right now we're gonna recultivate this grass tank and see where to go. Nothing really major. You can see there's water stains all over the glass. I just did this yesterday. Finally tore it down. I don't know if there's gonna be a bigger tank on this wall eventually, or if it's just gonna stay this way. But we'll go over to Chromium, who is really angry for some reason right now. Hey buddy, he's doing good. He's still got the weird growth on his tail and his cheek. It is definitely a scale mass of some kind. Beyond that, I don't know. He is a beta. He is a dragon scale beta, and I believe those species get that. We're gonna rotate around to this tank, which is one of the newer additions. This is my 40-gallon breeder, I guess, shrimp tank. This is where I keep all the food for Pennywise. As you can see, there's a bunch of shrimp in here. I finally upgraded and added Bandit has made it his way in here. We added some coral. There's a couple of hermit crabs. Nothing too major. There's a big hermit crab. So all the bad guys moved into this, except for the sea urchin, which moved into Pennywise's tank. But But I like this tank. It's actually kind of cool. Kind of going for macroalgae with some, what do they call them? What do they call mangroves? They're just kind of starting. This one had leaves at first, so it's kind of been rough, but the other ones are starting to do a little better. I do have to mist them daily to get the salt creep off. We did lose one, which is just sitting there for now. I was hoping maybe it would come back to life, but not so lucky. There will be more rock for this tank, so I'm going to build up that island again. My mom finally set up her 75 gallons, so I had to get back some of her rock. But we'll jump over this tank, which I tore a lot of plants out. These are the fire bellies. You can see them kind of hanging out here and there. I am contemplating actually getting rid of these guys. I would like to free up some space in the reptile room, so I don't know the plan yet, but they might be moving on out. We'll move over to Gitrog, which is our pixie frog. You can see he's in a 20-gallon, or she is in a 20-gallon tank. I just fed her this morning, but she's kind of still hungry. Up here we have the Santa Isabella darts in this 20-gallon tank, which I'll tell you I am going to do. There's one back there. You can kind of see it. Focus. Focus. There's one right back there. But what I'm going to do with this whole reptile room's tank situation is that all the dart frogs are going to go in front opening tank so I can actually go on vacation. Which that one's really dirty, so I'll explain it. But we're moving down to the spring peepers tanks. We got one kind of looking at me right now, so let's get that. They're in a 10-gallon tank. They're also going to get an upgrade. Pretty much everything's going to go into upgrades, and when I make it over to the newest one. In here we have a salamander or two. I have only see one at a time, so this used to be Ziggy's tank, and this is one of the ones that will be probably going away, even though the growth of the tree fern and the Menagerie is doing really good. We even got some different kinds of moss starting to grow on the back. That tank's actually starting to work really well. We'll jump up to Scully's tank. We'll see if we can see her quick. She's always good at hiding, and I do not see her. So we'll jump down to this tank here because I just saw him. Here we got, if it will focus, oh, not in my reflection. Like I said, all these tanks are going to get upgraded. This is a Dendrobates Aratus. No, Azurius Aratus, or no tank behind me. Down here we have our toads. We're looking pretty cute. If they're also going to get upgrades, everyone's getting upgrades. There we have Molder, which is the same species as Scully. That they're both female, so I might have to rename them eventually. Maybe change it to Fox. Up here we have our gray tree frogs that are always hard to see, especially if I don't clean the glass often enough. They're gonna get an upgrade eventually as well. In here we have more dart frogs. I'm sure you guys have seen many of my videos, and kind of this is more of an explainer, just kind of running through the tanks. We got Casey here. We got Medusa just finishing 2 meals. Hey Medusa, you can see the 2 lumps. Yep, probably can't feed her much more than that. But yeah, we got Casey up here. You can finally see his face. I fed him this morning. He looks happy. We got over here. We got Cersei. She's gonna be fed in a tiny bit. She's kind of just chilling. Turn the light on so you guys can see her color pattern. She's a pinstripe ball python, like you all know. Medusa is why am I not remembering what you are? You are a Western hognose snake. And Casey is a East African spiny tail lizard. Don't forget to mention those. And we got Khaleesi, who's very sad about the wildfires in Australia, aren't you? Because they're naturally from Australia. Yeah, I'm sorry, girl. She's got a little shed on her face. Down here we got Hungry McHungry Pants, who's swallowing a rat right now. This is Alfredo. Hey Alfredo, how you doing? You see the rat kind of working his way down. I won't bug him too much, but. And then on to the new idea. This will be one of the new frog tanks. What I'm doing is adding in drainage systems for all the new tanks going forward. They're all going to be easily planted, mostly just leaves as substrate. Obviously the normal substrate bioactive layer underneath, but looking at a lot of pictures of South America trees where this would be kind of referencing, most of them are just leaf covered with a tiny bit of foliage coming out from underneath. So this is kind of the new future setup of bioactive tanks. This is a Zoom Ed tank, which required a little more fixing work to give the glass lid. I had to actually cut off a couple clip spots. But I like the one solid door. We'll see how it is when I get a frog in. I don't like how the latching system is different than the other tank. I have a feeling someone's gonna break it at some point, so we'll hop over to the saltwater tanks. Here we got Pennywise, who's not gonna come in focus because they don't have good lighting right now. Pennywise is a frogfish, and with the light from Tortellini's tank, I can't seem to block it. There we go. Yeah. This is one of my first saltwater tanks down here. It's doing pretty good. I've had a little algae outbreak on that rock. I've brought in some extra help and they're slowly dealing with it. In here we have our 30-gallon dart frog tank, which is going to be also a top or a front opening one eventually as well. I noticed that 90% of the time they're not using the whole area and they just kind of hide underneath the logs, so this will be an upgraded tank eventually as well. Never hear these ones called. These are the Oratus, by the way. In here we got our painted turtle somewhere. We just saw her this morning. I was feeding her. She is in kind of hibernation mode, so she's not moving around or eating much this time of year. So she's kind of just hanging out. I'd love to see her for you guys. Now, maybe if I see her and then I come back. Oh, this phone with the new case is really hard to film. We'll move our way around to the 30-gallon planted tank, which is kind of growing in nice. I got my first ever flower, underwater flower, which is cool. This is a mixture of freshwater fish, not a ton left because we had all those jumpers. There must have been one really mean one in there chasing them all out. This might get a bunch of neon tetras. I might get rid of those Danios because I think they're the problem. My neons have all kind of disappeared. And then lastly, the algae issue saltwater tank. As you guys can see, got a lot of coral in here, but I got also a lot of algae. I've been battling this for months. I've been using Vibrant, I've been pulling, I've been doing all sorts of stuff. Hard corals seem to do really, really well, but I don't know what to say. That's pretty much it. Oh, pretty much it. We got Tortellini hiding in his tub here. Hey, Tortellini, what you doing? There's Tortellini, for those who care. Oh, it's gonna be awkward, guys. Set you down for a second. There we go. But yeah, there is the reptile room in a nutshell. Things are changing. Lots of things have happened. It's been a long time since I've filmed, so bear with me and my lack of experience. I would love to see the painted turtle for you guys. There she is. She's kind of in hibernation mode, not doing too much. So, like, subscribe, you guys know what to do. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you all my little pitcher plants that I got growing in my little pitcher garden down here. They're doing good. And my other tanks. Nothing's really changing. A lot of things will be changing. All of these frog tanks will be front opening tanks. And that'll be something to see. So, like, subscribe, and you know what? I'll see you guys next time.